Welcome back, everybody, to Sports People Hawaii. Head injuries, including concussion and, of course, stroke, are some of the most difficult ailments for doctors to treat. But now a local neurophysical therapist has come up with his own equipment and his own way of treating patients, and what he's seeing is nothing short of amazing. Sylvia Botza is a picture in determination, quite appropriate considering photography is her life's greatest passion.
I lived a very active life. I did photography, I had friends, I went to church in Hope Chapel, Hawaii Kai. I worked for Tabor Gallery in Waikiki. That was really fun.
Unfortunately, her photography and everything else came to an immediate halt when she suffered a massive stroke.
I was in a wheelchair. I could walk in the house, but I couldn't really walk outside that well. So I had a wheelchair. My friends would come and push me down the road to get some fresh air and stuff.
Sylvia needed to learn how to walk again. Luckily for her, she met Douglas Weiss, a neurophysical therapist who is trained to deal with patients like her. However,
one last time. Around 2010, I started to realize that the research that was coming out about physical therapy was starting to suggest that the kinds of things that physical therapists normally did to help people with Parkinson's and strokes wasn't really that effective. We're gonna step up on here with both feet.
Weiss says the long-standing protocol was strength training, posture, and simply getting a patient to walk, something he said he'd been doing for many years, but with limited results.
One last time. I would see patients, some of them would get better, and the majority of them, it would take a very long time, and they never really would recover fully.
So Weiss did his own research and came up with his own roadmap for recovery.
I'm gonna hook you in. So I'm gonna start off kind of slow, and then I'll have you do the cake one. And what we had to do is we had to think about the kinds of activities that people do in everyday life and then turn those activities into exercises. So things like walking backwards, walking sideways, stepping over things, balancing on one leg. And the more we went with it, the more we realized that we needed equipment to help us do this, because it is dangerous to have someone who isn't able to walk backwards to start walking backwards. And come on back, turn this way until you get forward. Good.
Using his ingenuity, the next step was coming up with the equipment that he needed.
Good, and then turn this way until you're backwards. So I actually went to a window cleaning company and bought a window cleaning harness, had them modify it a little bit, and we used some rock climbing equipment and an engine mount spreader bar to create something that would be like a safety harness for someone so that they could do those kinds of activities but not actually get injured. So pretend that this is a tray.
And what he discovered was nothing short of astonishing.
Turn this way until you're facing backward. Good. And then turn this way until you're facing forward. Once we started to focus on highly challenging activities, that the person recovered incredibly fast. It was really surprising in the beginning how fast we were able to get people that maybe had a stroke and couldn't walk to be able to walk again. Good? Good, Sylvia. Turn this way until you're facing forward.
Sylvia says she knew she was making progress, but it wasn't until an evening at a friend's house that she realized just how far she had come.
We were having dinner and I scolded my plate and I had to just turn and walk backwards and put it on the table. And she's like, oh my gosh, you did a turn, a whole half a turn with a pivot and everything. And she couldn't believe that I could do that.
Then turn towards me. And side step, then forward.
She was freaking out because I'm like, okay. I go, yeah, I guess that is what we do. That's what we do here. And it becomes like normal. So you're like daily, everyday things that you don't realize it, you're doing it normally.
And then turn this way until you're facing forward. Good.
Today, Sylvia is back to being active and with even greater plans for the future.
Good.
I'm thankful that I'm alive, and I'm thankful that I can actually walk, and and I can actually do things. Actually, I used to be right-handed, now I'm left-handed. So I'm hoping that when I get totally healed, I'll be ambidextrous.
Backwards, there you go. Then bounce, then throw. Good, bounce. You're doing great.
It is a miracle. It is a miracle. I will say that. So my goal is to run.
It's extremely gratifying to be able to take someone and give them that ability to be independent again, to enjoy their life again. And a lot of the patients that we see at this office and at the other office, they're people that are told, oh, you're never gonna get out of a wheelchair again, you're never gonna walk again. And what we found is that's really not necessarily true. I'm just gonna stand to your side, someone.
Weiss says his message to others in similar situations is that with the right activities and the right therapy, you can regain your independence and you can reclaim your life.
On behalf of the entire team at 7-Eleven Hawaii, we commend Doug Weiss for his innovation and his abilities to push the limits of his patients. To see Sylvia up and walking and to know that Doug has gotten her and countless others back on their feet and reclaiming their lives is nothing short of amazing. Doug, we applaud your work and wish you and your patients continued success as they battle back on their road to recovery, one step at a time.
I think for most people, there is the potential for them to get a lot better. I mean, they might not be able to go back and play football again, but they can definitely regain a lot of their abilities to enjoy their life again. So yeah, I would say don't give up.
So great to see Sylvia back on her feet and walking again, and he's worked wonders with other athletes too. So keep up the great work, Douglas, and hopefully others will start adopting your methods.